Okay, I'll call the December meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order. And being in the, since Roger Cloudabuck has not arrived and assume is not going to attend, I'd like to ask Jessica if she would come up and join us as our alternate. Thought you were gonna get off. So we have our designated alternate participating tonight, so we have 5 in attendance, and that sure meets a quorum. Okay, first item is adoption of the agenda. We will take Mr. Nichols' advice and begin doing that. So if everybody's comfortable, I assume the proper approach is a motion to approve the agenda. Is that correct, Alan?
Yes, sir, but Mr. Chairman, if I may ask that we add the discussion of Jessica Davis's reappointment to new business after the adoption of the previous minutes.
Okay. Okay, so the chair is open for a motion to adopt the minutes with that addition as specified by Mr. Nichols.
I move the adoption of the agenda with the addition that Mr. Nichols has put in.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor of adopting the adopting the agenda as amended by Suzanne, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the agenda is approved with that adoption, with that amendment to the agenda as presented. First item, new business, is approval of minutes from the November meeting. And I assume everybody have received them and reviewed them. So the floor is open for approval or corrections to the minutes as submitted.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of the minutes as submitted, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, so the minutes of last month's meeting have been approved as submitted. So, Al, you say right now you want to do Jessica?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Davis's appointment expires at the end of this month, and she has expressed an interest in continuing on. And so, should the board choose to recommend her continuance, I will take that motion to the county administrator's office, who will present it to the Board of Supervisors, which I'm quite sure will be passed right through to the judiciary, who will hopefully confirm Ms. Davis's reappointment.
Sure. That is fine with me. I think Jessica's done a fine job, especially in the last couple of months in Sarah's absence, so I would sure encourage. Do you need a motion from the board then?
Please.
Preferably. Any other
I move that we recommend Ms. Davis to be, her reappointment, her tenure to be renewed
as the alternate?
as the alternate to the BZA.
Yes. Okay, is there a second to Ms. Long's motion?
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Does that satisfy what you need, Alan?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we will begin with the cases tonight. Our first case, case number V1025-2, Hiram Blakey, has applied for variance in Madison County Code of Ordinance, Appendix 1, Article 5.3. The minimum lot area for permitted uses shall be 1.5 acres without public water and sewer systems and 1 acre with public water and sewer. All dwellings located on a parcel without public water and sewer shall require a minimum of 1.5 acres per dwelling. All dwellings located on a parcel with public water and sewer shall require a minimum of 1 acre per dwelling. Madison County Code of Ordinances, Appendix 2, Article 4, 5, and 6. Non-conforming lots, remnants, or outlets, no subdivision which creates a non-conforming lot shall be approved. All remnants of lots or outlots below the minimum size remaining after subdividing a tract must be added to adjacent lots rather than allowed to remain as unbuildable parcels. In Madison County Code of Ordinances, Appendix 2, Article 6.2.1, road standards for private access easement on all private road. private road constructed and maintained, a private access easement on private road may serve up to 6 lots and be privately constructed and maintained per Article 4A1A, 4A1B, 4A1C, and 4A1D of this ordinance. In order to create a non-conforming lot for a new single-family dwelling by subdividing property identified as 151 Blakey's Fry Lane and further identified as Madison County Tax Map 49-31. So.
Mr. Chairman, if I may interject a brief correction here. In the case, the street number should be amended to read 288 Blakey's Fry. The tax map number is correct, so all of the maps and documents you have illustrate this correctly, but the street number read incorrectly.
It's 288 Blakey's Fry Lane.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so, Mr. Blakey, are you here representing yourself tonight? Would you tell us what the issue is and what the hardship is and what you need to do?
I put it in my memo, I don't like talking about it, but anyway, I told the guy what was going on with my life. And I'm 85 now, this happened, and I like to go on and have the parents, my daughter, to help us out with it, you know, through networking and that.
Okay, so you, Al, you want to fill us in again on this?
Yes, so this parcel that Mr. Blakey owns at the end of Blakey's Fry here is too small to qualify for a subdivision. So he requires a variance from the acreage requirements in order to make a non-conforming lot. In fact, there's a number of ordinances that require variances in order to accomplish this. One difference from when we discussed this last month to now is that when we were reviewing this in the office, we did notice that there are more than 6 lots being serviced by the private road. And so we did include that, so should the Board of Zoning Appeals choose to issue a variance to create this non-conforming lot, that would also be included. But essentially, the applicant's seeking to split this lot in order to create on the west side a new dwelling on its own legal parcel.
So the lot currently is 2.656 acres and a minimum of 1.5 acres, is that correct?
1.5, yes, sir.
So there's not 3 acres in the entire tract.
Correct.
And in what year, what date was the 2.65 acres recorded? I don't see that. I'm looking for it. I don't see it.
If you give me just a moment, I can tell you that.
92? That's the date on Mr. Gimbel's survey. So again, Mr. Blakey, you're asking for the ability to create a non-conforming lot so that you can build a second residence for yourself or a caregiver or? For a caregiver?
My husband just found out he has cancer,
Right.
and I'm just recovering from a quadruple attack. So we would like our daughter to have a house near us, so in case I get down and can't take care of him, there's somebody there. Most of the people now that live there used to be family. It's not true anymore. They've even rented it out and sold it. So we really don't have the family support that we used to have.
Right.
So, yes, my daughter doesn't feel like she would be comfortable living in the house. She would like, to live in her own home with her own child, which is understanding, saying she didn't think a child would be, he's only 11, and to have to sit there and watch his grandfather going down and suffering from this, she didn't think that would be appropriate. So that's why we're asking if we could have a variance to build them their house so they can live near us to help take care, but at the same time, they're not right watching everything that's going
So the issue with your application is that we typically don't create a lot smaller than acre and a half. That's the main issue. If that lot was created when the ordinance existed. There've been a number of cases where lots that were created before the ordinances existed, 1972, I think it was, 74, that did not have the appropriate lot size. And they typically ask for a variance, and the variance is granted. Lots of times, not always, lots of times. And the big issue with your case is that, at least I personally am not aware of any case that has been presented that's requesting to have a non-conforming lot created that was established when the current ordinance existed. And that is a critical issue for us. Have you looked at other ways to create a accessory building or accessory residence, or something that might attach to the current residence that wouldn't require a subdivision?
There's no way to attach to the way the building, our house was built. There's no way to expand either way. I mean, it's not, we're right up next door to our neighbor who has cows. So I don't think he'd be happy if we try to ask him to move his fence so we can, and he would go back to the house, again, it's his cow field. I don't think he'd appreciate that. And right next door is the neighbors. I don't think they want to give up their land for us. So the only place we have is the part in front, which is the part we're asking for to have a variance on, because that's an open field and there's nobody there. We've never used it for anything. So that's the only way we can go, would be to go forward.
Forward, so you're talking about to the west or on the other side of Blakey Lane, or the access road?
The access road, it would be on the other side of the access road coming into our driveway.
Uh-huh.
Over here in the field. So as you can tell, there's no place for us to build, to expand, because everybody has us kind of boxed in, except for on the other side of our driveway. So that's why we're asking, because it's an open field, we don't use it for anything.
Any other questions, comments from Board of Zoning Appeals before we go to the audience?
So have you considered some kind of a modular, a trailer or a temporary housing?
Well, I mean, she said she wouldn't mind like one of those small houses, or, I don't think it's something that she wants to live there permanently. It's just like a basic until either something happens to either one of us, or, you know what I'm saying? And then she would go on about, her and her brother would decide what they're gonna do with the land, more than likely sell it, and then she would go back on to her own life. It's just, she just wants to be there to help take care of us in case something happens. I mean, she lives in Culpeper right now, so for her,
No,
she
it's,
worries all the time. Mom, are you okay? Dad, is Dad okay? I mean,
Well, I mean, it's very understandable, and sure sympathize with your situation, but what you're asking us to do is a permanent change, and also a permanent change for you that would affect other cases down the road. And that's a hard one for us to overcome, for me to overcome. I'm not speaking for others. But putting the line in there and making two separate lots, even if one of them conforms and one of them doesn't conform, I'm not aware of it being done before. And it causes more than a few precedent issues from now and on down the road.
I think it would be difficult for your son or daughter to sell that at some point in time, because it would be a non-conforming lot, and whether anybody else would ever be able to build anything on it.
so what you're saying is if I got a trailer, they would be okay, because that would be.
It's temporary, right?
Where there are some allowances in our ordinance
For a trailer.
for temporary.
For a year use and then extendable for another 6 months twice. So you could get up to 2 years with a temporary structure of some sort. I don't know how the ordinance specifies it.
Alan,
For
I
clarification,
was going to ask for about the ADU.
yes, well, we have provisions in our ordinance for emergency medical housing that would apply in this case for care. There are time limitations, but when we say RV, we think travel trailer. These days, RVs can also be what they call park models, which are like little homes, little campers, and those things. Those provisions do exist in our ordinance. They are issued for a period of time of 6 months and can be renewed up to a maximum of 24 months. We do hope that we have Mr. Blakey for a very long time, and I do think that that was part of the concern for them asking for the variance, but I certainly don't want to speak on the applicant's behalf.
Any other comments from BZA before we go to the audience?
I think, Alan, I was going to ask for a clarification from the county ordinance on ADUs. Or is that, I'm not up to speed on the current.
Microphone turn on, there we go. Madison County does not have an ordinance for accessory dwelling units. This is something that came up during the comprehensive plan discussion, and every year when the General Assembly gets together, they discuss some kind of bill regarding accessory dwelling units. There's nothing in place at this time, to the best of my knowledge. We've looked at it fairly recently. So Madison County regulates density on the basis of dwelling, whether it be accessory, primary, or otherwise, based on time and based on area. So those are the two ways that we regulate density.
Okay, any other comments from BZA before I open to audience? Hearing none to the audience, public comment? Yes, Joe?
I just want to know where the well and septic is for the existing dwelling.
The well is right there before the service road, and the septic tank is behind the house, the existing house.
And the drain field is too?
Yes, sir.
And the reserve drain field?
Not that I know of. We've been reserved for
When
years.
was the house built?
92.
House built in 92, there should have been at least a 50% reserve somewhere on the property.
I'm not sure, I don't know what a reserved one is, so that would I'd have to, all I know is it was set up for 3 bathrooms, so, and 3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms.
And I know every 3 years we have the septic tank cleaned out, and we've never had any issues.
Okay, any other comments? So, back to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Have you talked with attorneys or counsel about options, about any other options?
No. This was our first option. I mean, I didn't think we'd have that much of a hassle. I mean, we've been here for over 30 years.
Well, it's not,
In the same property.
it's not a hassle as it is an issue. And, you know, we had the same issue last time we voted on a case, and it was denied.
I saw that.
Yeah, but it was the same issue, comes down to the same issue. And believe you me, it's not you or the situation, it is the size of the lot and a non-conforming use, which for what we do and what the planning commission does and the board of supervisors, those are really big issues.
It just amazes me because I have a lot that is twice the size of this room sitting empty that I keep maintaining, and I keep saying, why? All it has on it is trees.
Well, it's just the standards that planning uses that has been in place for a number of years.
Right.
And those same standards were in place in 92 when that lot was created. And I don't know why the lot was made the size that it is, but 1.5 acres would have been enough to have gotten the lot.
Now, and I realize that, but I realize it's not like I'm saying we have only 2 acres and I wanna split it. We're almost over the 3 acres, so.
But the problem gets to be is if we grant what you're asking for, it becomes a permanent issue on their side. And it becomes a permanent issue for you as well. But where you have a situation where you think it's gonna be a temporary situation for your daughter. And it'd be nice to say we could do it for 3 years, but for a situation like this, we're not allowed to do that. So it becomes a permanent issue for us. And like I say, it becomes a permanent issue for the next case down the road, and for the case last time that we denied. So it's a big issue. But I asked if you had spoken with council, because I don't know what kind of options might be available, but there are ways to do things that would still accomplish what you're trying to get, without walking on site and seeing what your house is and everything. And I don't know what building code requires, what you think of building an addition or being attached might be something different. There might be ways to accomplish what you want just for the short term, without having to subdivide the lot. I'm just throwing those thoughts out there, but it does get to be a really big issue for us.
Because as you can see, there's our house,
Yes.
there's our road, and then all that down on this side, just there. And as you can see in the back, on the side, Hank Taylor has his cows, and they go all the way around our house. And then on that side, that's where the other houses start. So as you can see, there's not really anywhere you can build on the sides or back. So all you have is the front door to the road, and that's it.
Have you addressed Mr. Taylor and talked with him about,
Yeah, moving his fences from his cows, I don't.
well,
think-
you need a little over 1/4 of an acre. No, I'm not talking about moving a fence, I'm talking about a boundary adjustment.
Boundary
for the property.
adjustment, right.
If he's willing to agree to purchase you, to sell to you a small amount of acreage, you don't need but, what is it, 3/500
Yeah.
of an acre to get your 3 acres, you have 1.5 acres for both lots.
Okay.
If you could do that, then it would conform, and at least the acreage requirements would conform.
And then what else would have to be conformed?
Well, it depends on how many lots are on the road. How many did you say, Alan?
6.
6?
We are in excess of 6 lots being serviced by the private drive now, so a variance would still need to be obtained for the access road.
So that would be the most obvious requirement if you were able to get some property from Mr. Taylor. But that's just a suggestion.
Like I said, you don't know unless you ask. My husband, I used to have children who lived there. They're gone.
Pardon me, folks. Would the applicant kindly turn on your microphone? We've got the public attending online would like to hear the conversation.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm one of these loud people, I don't use microphones.
I know we can hear each other in the room, but when we broadcast,
Okay, just leave it on.
Yeah, as long as it's switched.
yeah, as long as you leave it up, it should pick you up and hold it close to you. Thank you.
But Chuck makes a good point. You might have an opportunity with the current drain field and everything that you can, if you could make a connection to the existing residence, the building code would allow, you could probably tap into your existing infrastructure.
Right.
That would alleviate a number of these issues.
Because right there, where our little road is, that's where the well is.
Right.
And then the septic is, right there where you see the swimming pool in the backyard,
Yes.
that's where the septic system is.
And the well is a drilled well, I assume?
Oh, yeah, it's like, how deep was our well? How deep did they go for our well?
I like 200 feet.
Yeah.
It was over 200 feet to the well. Okay. Like I said, you never know what you can do unless you ask.
Well, it's,
I wish I didn't have to ask.
well, it,
You know,
it's one of those things, if you don't work with it routinely, you're not aware of the options you might have there. Okay, back to Board of Zoning Appeals. Questions, comments? I've been kind of hogging it. Please, anybody else want to jump in?
All right, well, thank you for your time.
Well, we're not done
We're
yet.
not done.
You're not done yet.
We're just trying to give you some options here.
I don't have anything, Chairman.
Okay, anybody? All right, then we need a motion on this case. Or further comments and discussion?
I'm very mindful of the fact that non-conforming lots are permanent and very difficult to deal with once that happens. And so, based on that, and I think you have some other options, I move that we deny this application for variance.
Okay, is there a second to Suzanne's motion?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Any further discussion? I would just like to add that I think we all have sympathy for your situation, and obviously, if we could just rubber stamp what works best for you, we would. But like I say, there's so many different permanent factors that if we give you what you want, we'll just go all over the place in both directions. And I, well, like Suzanne said, I think you have more options there than you probably realize that wouldn't require the non-conforming use. Again, that's my opinion.
All right, thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, as far as the question, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Anybody opposed to the motion? So all voted in favor of the motion to deny. And like I say, you know, work with some people, work with Alan, I think you could probably come up with something that'll work. Sure, thank you.
Turn it off. Give them back their money. Thank you. You all have a great evening.
Thank you. Too.
Thank you.
Can you make it?
Good luck. Good luck with your three.
Good luck.
Okay, our next case is case number V1025-3. Edward Williams has applied for a variance of Madison County Code of Ordinance Appendix 1, Article 4.3. The minimum lot area for permitted use shall be 3 acres. All dwellings located on a single parcel shall require a minimum of 3 acres per dwelling. In Madison County Code of Ordinance Appendix 1, Article 4.4.1, structure shall be located 50 feet or more from any street right-of-way which is 50 feet or greater in width, or 100 feet or more from the center line of any street right-of-way less than 50 feet in width. And Madison County Code of Zoning Ordinance Appendix Article 4.5, the minimum frontage for permitted uses shall be 250 feet at the setback line or measured at the location of the foundation of the subject's parcel's principal dwelling or accessory building. The minimum distance which the building is required to be located from the street right-of-way or center line shall be known as the setback line. And Madison County Code of Ordinance Appendix 1, Article 4.6.2, each main structure shall have a rear yard of 50 feet or more property on Ellie Road and further identified as Madison County Tax Map 50-21. Mr. Williams, glad to see you here tonight. Alan, would you just like to go through the process on this again? We've been through it once.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So this case is an interesting one because it has been here twice before. In October of 2019, the Board of Zoning Appeals granted a setback variance for the nonconforming lot, at that time owned by Mr. McDaniel. And the board imposed two conditions. One, the home must be built in 2 years, and the variance is non-transferable. The board that property did in fact transfer, and so in October of 2021, Mr. Williams submitted an application to the board to ask for the same variance be issued again. And the board did grant the variance with the same conditions as previous. The variance approval is valid for a 2-year term. Therefore, the proposed dwelling must be permitted prior to October 21, 2023, and the variance to construct a single-family home cannot be sold or transferred. Once the proposed dwelling is constructed, the parcel then may be sold or transferred at meaning the owner's discretion. I saw Mr. Williams in the zoning office on October 17th of this year, and he was ready to begin the process of building his home, but his variance had, of course, expired. And so that brings us to today. All of the additional context from the previous application, the minutes from those prior meetings are in your packet if you had a chance to look at those, or if you want to reference any of that information. And the relevant ordinances are cited here in the staff report. There is a plat provided. Let me go ahead and pull that up for you. I think it's 34. Let's say that illustrates the variances that the applicant is seeking.
Okay, Mr. Williams, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I like to keep it where you don't have to come here every year or every 2 years. I like to try to get it permanent if I could.
Are you ready to build?
Not quite, but I'm planning on putting a house there. But I, don't wanna say I'm gonna do it tomorrow, Eventually something gonna go there.
Right. Well, yeah, I assume when you purchased it from Mr. McDaniel, you were aware of the time restrictions, the 2 years? Were you aware of that when you purchased it from John?
I'm not for sure.
Okay. And do you live near this parcel?
No, I live over in Barberville,
Oh, do you?
but, I have land and stuff there too. My father have a lot of property there.
Okay. Questions from BZA members for Mr. Williams or concerning the case?
So, Mr. Williams, are you asking for more time? Is that what you're asking for here?
Yes, ma'am.
So to clarify, would 2 years, an extension of another 2 years be enough time to get the home built that you're planning?
No, I think I'm gonna do a little bit more than that. I like to get it, instead of keep every 2 years or something come back to this meeting and stuff. I like to get it if it could, permanent, If they pass it twice,
Well, but it was I wasn't at the meeting when Mr. McDaniel got the approvals that he received, but I've heard comments from people that were there, and it was not a slam dunk. It was not an obvious yes. And I think a lot of the condition of that approval was those time constraints. And it's still, it's still a condition, in my opinion, that needs to be, if you're gonna do it, it needs to be done. Because it's, it's a very small lot, it's very non-conforming by our current standards. And just be able to build on it with the variances that were awarded to Mr. McDaniel, it doesn't give you much room to work with. I think you know that. I said last month that I would be willing to, personal opinion again, to extend it for another 2 years, but it's not gonna be a continuous, at some point in time, it's either gotta be removed or you gotta have a house. So, that's my opinion, that's just my opinion. Board of Zoning members, comments?
I'm just reading the minutes from one of the last meetings.
Right. And let's see, do you know what year this lot was subdivided?
Let's
I
take a
saw it
peek here.
somewhere.
Mr. Chairman, the date on this one, I think, or at least this survey was done in 2019, but this one
Right.
probably existed prior to that. Give me a
Oh,
second.
yeah, it did.
Do you still own the lot behind this one? Was reading in one of the other minutes that it looks like you own the acreage behind this particular lot as well? You do? Are you, have you considered doing a boundary adjustment so there's not a need for,
I own 10 acres on back in there.
oh, but it doesn't connect directly to this?
No,
Oh.
that's family.
That's all the family of yours?
Yeah.
Chairman Lillard, on the screen, I've got the GIS up there. This is the parcel in question, and Mr. Williams mentioned family land. There is family land that is adjacent back behind there, to answer your question, and some other parcels as well, as you get deeper into that territory.
But you don't see a date of creation of the lot?
I can definitely get it if I can get into the assessor system, but I don't have the login saved on my laptop, so I can get it, but it's gonna take me just a second.
Okay.
It looks like a remnant, doesn't it? Looking
Yes,
at
it
the-
does. Yes, it does. But I'm trying to remember, again, I wasn't at the meeting where it was originally approved from Mr. McDaniel. Were you there?
I'm sure I was, but
But I remember this discussion the next month about it. But I can't remember
I
a
can
date.
log in now.
Obviously, it's a grandfather lot,
yes, right.
but I don't recall the date of creation. It does look like it's a residue of some sort.
Mm-hmm. It's so small and right there on the road,
It is.
the setbacks.
And actually referenced, this lot has been used a couple times since then, if you remember, but heard a couple times, but you have done it. And we haven't done what they thought, but they referenced this lot. Because not understanding this is a grandfather lot. But it's very small.
Is there, the road that goes through the lot behind it, is that piped in for the 50-foot right-of-way?
The driveway that's drawn in there,
Well, yeah.
yeah,
In this picture here, the existing driveway that goes to the lot behind sits right over top of the drain field, proposed drain field.
Yes, right.
It's not gonna lie.
Mr. Chairman, I am
Yeah.
not able to log into the commissioner's
okay.
service now to find that.
We
Ma-
know it's an old lot, though.
Mr. Williams, can I ask you a question? So I was checking out your application, and it mentions, your comment is to construct a home in accordance with the terms of the original variance. So were you saying that you were 2 years from the original, or you're looking for additional years? Is that what you were kind of asking for? Well, how many years were you asking for?
I would like to get a permit, to keep paying his money, every, last couple of times and stuff, We've been around, kind of tight, just saying, yeah, I'm gonna put something down right away, Then the time run out and right back here again, I already got the well and stuff on there.
You just don't know when you're gonna permit something to start construction.
Yeah. True. But it's gonna happen, I don't know when.
Well, you know, you had 2 years before, so that's when. And so you're asking for more. So if you're gonna build, you need to build. Sooner or later, I mean, I don't know what the others think, but there's a time constraint on this for a reason. And I don't think it's gonna be removed. So I'm comfortable personally with giving you a little more time, but it's not, I'm not gonna agree with the unconditional. You know, you're still gonna have this conditional there. But anyway, Board of Zoning Appeals. Comment, any public comment, Chuck, anything? Yes, I've questioned that too, but that's, you know, that's building permit material there, health department permit material there. I didn't think you could do that either. I didn't think so. That might be the reason why this case has been discussed a lot. But that's just, you know, whatever. Okay, back to the Board of Zoning Appeals. We need to take action on this case.
I'm comfortable with 2 more years, but I agree with you. It needs to be reviewed. I mean, we can't just let it go forever. It's really questionable as far as I'm concerned.
Any other discussion or motion?
I'll make a motion to approve of a 2-year, which is consistent with, in accordance with the original variation, but only 2 years.
So continuation of the original conditions for a maximum of 2 years from this date.
From this
Is that
date.
right?
Yep,
But with the same conditions as previously applied.
correct.
Okay, is there a second to Sarah's motion?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion from BZA members? All those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? So it's unanimous. So you have 2 more years, and we sure encourage you to build something. Because like I say, I don't think it's going to be continually applied. You know, at some point in time, if you don't build, or somebody build. But that's just the way it is. That's the lot that you purchased from Mr. McDaniel. But you know that. You know that. But good luck with it. Okay, that's our last case for tonight. Is there any other business come before the Board of Zoning Appeals? Alan, do you have anything to add that you'd like to bring for us at this time?
I don't have anything for you tonight, Mr. Chairman, unless you want to schedule a time with me afterwards to preview potential bylaws.
Sure, we'll get together afterwards
Cool.
and see what works for you. Do you already have something in mind?
I can make something. I just didn't know if you wanted to put time on the calendar or make a schedule. If we make a schedule, it'll happen.
Well, we can get together later.
All
I
right, fair
trust your
enough.
word on that, you know, so.
Can I put a double wide on there?
Yes, sir?
As long as it meets the variances, you know, the setbacks and the variances that are
It's not
applied.
necessarily what it is, it's where it goes.
Yeah.
I think they had marked one time before where the house would go.
We did, it's on here. This is what, it was surveyed to show what the variance allowed for. It changed the setback requirements to where you could get a 24 by 48-foot home on the property. So that is what they approved.
Okay, no other business. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Is there a second? We're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who was the, who made the motion and seconded for the adjournment? Thank you very much. We'll make it happen. Yep. Oof. Pardon me. I'm sorry I missed you earlier today. I got stuck on the phone. If you want to talk about that other subdivision too, by all means.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm still underprepared for that. I have to support JMU with the playoff this week. I have to.
Yeah, coming out in the morning.
Okay.
This way, look at the property.
This, I'm all over the place
There's a
tonight.
couple of houses down the mall. Look at everything. He showed me.
It's shocking you recognize that one since they're so.
He couldn't see the problem.
I had a friend who was a very big fan. Oh, well, there.
Well, good evening, Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas.